What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining in. Welcome back this Monday morning, July 13th. Well, it's afternoon, Eastern Time, 3:15 p.m. How is everybody doing? We're making it happen another day, 45 minutes before the market closes. So I said, let me come on and show you guys what the beginner's portfolio is doing, which we started in 2026 year to date. It's 11,404 right now. And it's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. So we're really happy that it's obviously we're down to the $129, but that's all right. That's all right. Let me just flip the screen. Give me a sec. There we go. So it looks like I'm looking at it. So yeah, so it's obviously doing its thing. Today we're down $130, and we're gonna get into it. I want to say thank you for joining in. If you know, I'm your guy, Jeremy Wallace, talks with JW, quite a mouthful, or not just another guy with a hat, yeah. So we are on this channel. We are all about making wealth. How do we go about it from a beginner's portfolio? And I walk with you on this process that I've started this portfolio from putting in $1,000 from year to date. And now it's 11,404. We went from 1 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 10, and we're going to hit the 12K, 15K, and so on, right? The goal is basically, I'm sharing my experience trading on Robinhood. I'm not affiliate with them or any sort, but I'm sharing my experience that if I was 18, 19, 20, and if I started in 26 investing, this is how I'm going to do about it, right? So every day we try to go live during when the market's open, telling people like what we're buying, what we're selling, what we're researching, how we're researching, what tools in AI we are looking at to research if we started as beginners in today's market. Now, a little background info. If you don't know about me, I'm Jeremy Waller. I'm originally from Dubai. So I started investing in 2015 back in Dubai, and I came to the US to live and work in 2019 with my wife, my dog. We relocated. My wife's in the chat at times. She's the moderator. She's Wellness with Sophie. We kind of help each other and support one another when it comes into the YouTube world, the digital world that we are in right now. So shout out to her if you want to follow her wellness journey, and she's actually building new things with her brand. So if it's all about skincare, facial massages, gosha, and just tune in. I don't want to butcher any words or pronunciations in that category, but she's the queen of that category. So Wellness with Sophie, that's her channel. Now, going back to the stock. So that's me in a nutshell. So I've been investing, and I'm a long-term investor. I don't do trades, options, puts, calls, whatever you want to say, swings. I did it. I tried it in a period of time. I realized that long-term investing is for me, right? And you got to do what's best for you. But if you're coming into this world of investing as a beginner, you want to know how to do it. You need a social security code. You need to be of legal age to do it on your own. And you need a platform. So the platform that I use right now on screen is Robinhood. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with this, but if you want to use, I can recommend them. My referrals are down below. You use my links, whether it's Moomoo, Robinhood, Webull. If you're a beginner, I would say use Robinhood. It's really user friendly, in my opinion, right? You'll get some free stock, and I'll get some free stock because I referred you all, right? I don't know if you use it by yourself, whether you get free stock or not, but I know people who use my link get free stock, and I get free stock. So yeah, so little things like dividends and compound that you get as a gift, which we'll get into. So yeah, like I was saying, it's 11,401, and I really like to go live with you guys when the market's red, because that's the time I think we have more to talk about, right? If everything's green and hunky and dory, there's not much to actually say, yeah, we're green and we're going to the moon, and none of that stuff on this channel. We're building wealth. We're going to take time, but we're going to win the race, right? Now, without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, I'm not a financial certified advisor of any sort. I'm just advising what I'm doing with this portfolio, right? So with that disclaimer out of the way, I can't advise you what to buy, hold, or sell. What I can do is what I'm showing you what I'm doing, right? So once you open Robinhood, this is how it looks. If you've never opened a Robinhood account, this is how it looks. That's my buying power currently on the app, that I have $424 to put into investment or let it sit. And when I want to get ready to buy something when it's down, I do it. In this baby newbie account of mine, JW's 18, 19-year-old account, we have Bitcoin. Now, all my crypto sits on Coinbase, right? So with this account, I'm just showing you guys, like, if you've never invested in crypto, I would strongly put my money in Bitcoin only at this point in time, right? And I'll put like as much as I can, or my pocket kind of say so, below 60,000, right? Now, I first got into Bitcoin on my private portfolio when it was 10K per Bitcoin, right? So I'm just sharing that. So this account, the baby account's only got $76 in it, but that's $76 in total. We're up to now 2.5%, right? So I'm just showing you how to grow stuff, right? Now, what I want to say, and again, when I say it's a baby account, my account, bro, like we started year to date. I'm not going to show you 100 or 200, 300. I want people not to get overwhelmed when it comes to investing, like especially if you're newbie, whatever age you are. If you're new to investing, bro, or if you burnt your fingers before and whatever, at least you can look at me, my mistakes, learn from it, whatever it may be, right? Like, just keep that in mind, right? Let me just close this. Yeah. So without further ado, what we do in this portfolio, these are the greens. So if you've never seen it, an investing app, all this is overall percentages, right? So like overall in Microsoft, we have 2.62 shares. We're down 1%. So we're up 12%. We have 34%. And I want to let you guys know a little thing, that when you look at your investing apps or how you invest, always look at percentages. That's kind of given me a great indicator over time of working in the corporate world, working on P&Ls, working in accounts, working in sales. It's great to look at these things because these indications are awesome in my opinion. Percentages, right? Like, so if it was like plus $11, plus $34, that's a different way of looking at it. You can obviously sort it that way. I'm sure you can see, you can put it in total return. These are in dollars now. You see what I'm saying? So this guy Robinhood, I made $155. However, I like to look at it in percentage. Why? Because I'm a percentage person, right? That's how I look at it. So just imagine if you had put $100 and you're 50% up. So that's how I look at, that's how I like to look at numbers in my life, right? So this is what a portfolio looks like. We, at this point in time, just because we started this, really, like obviously we're 7 months in, but what I want to say, guys, is like, usually you don't need to be in a number of stuff. If you're a beginner, I would strongly suggest, right? Again, I can't advise you what to buy all this, that you put your money in VO, SPMO, SCHD. Now, what are these? These are ETFs, right? Exchange Trade Funds. But if you look, for example, VOO is given us 8.14%. And that's another thing I like to show, because someone hit me up on my Discord group and like, oh, okay, I just subbed to your channel, and why do you have so many ETFs in this? And I want to show people like the different terms of percentages that these ETFs give you, right? So you can be the best judge what ETF you want in your app, in your investment journey, right? So let's run by what the ETFs are first. So this is basically, if you've just joined, I'm talking about ETFs, right? From a beginner's point of view, right? If you want to get into ETFs, there's VOO that this portfolio is tracking, SCHD, okay, SPMO, okay, that's the third one. We have some ETF called COPX, which I'll open and show you. We're down 5%, and we have ETF DRAM, which is the memory ETFs. Now, we have quantum ETFs, WQTM. I think that's about it in this. Oh, and there's another VTF, VXUS. Now, this is non-US. So let's start from here. If you guys want to, we just got into this play recently, right? Now, in this portfolio, we started this in June 25th. So last month, it's not even been a month for this. So we only put in $60. What this ETF does, and it's all written here, bro. So here, about VTF, Vanguard, right? So it says the fund tracks a market cap weighted index of stocks covering 99% of the global market capitalization outside the US. The listed name for VXUS is Vanguard Star Funds, Vanguard Total International Stock ETF. Now, why are we in this portfolio? Because obviously we want to God forbid there's like this major whatever in this in US markets and it just declines. Usually when that happens, the outside markets are up, right? All they are. Now, what is this ETF tracking? Sectors wise, financial services, industrial, basic materials, consumer defensive, communication services, real estate, utilities, energy, healthcare, consumer cynical, technology outside the US. What are their top 10 holding? Taiwan Semiconductor, which is obviously down today, Samsung Electronic, SK Hynix, which is down as well, ASML. These are the top 10. Obviously, there's more than this top 10 holdings, right? HSBC Bank, which is a bank I deal with as well, Tencent Holdings, and Alibaba, blah, blah, blah. So, we just started this, so that's one ETF that if you want to, as a beginner and you never knew about this, yes, you can track the other markets, and that's what it is. Ticker symbol VXUS. Now let's look at another ETF, WQTM. Now this is a fund, obviously, they're all funds, ETFs are funds, right? So we have about 116, we're down 12%. It's all about quantum computers, about Wisdom Tree Quantum Computing Fund. WQTM is a passively managed fund that invests globally in companies engaged in quantum computing activities. The index is weighted based on relevancy and purity scores. The listed name for WQTM is Wisdom Tree Quantum Computing Fund, right? Now, again, what's the sectors? Technology, consumer cyclical, industrials, communication services. Top 10 holdings, Quantinuum, D-Wave Quantum, Rigetti Computing, IonQ, IBM. Now, why people get into ETFs is because if you're a beginner, and this portfolio is a beginner's portfolio, but what JW is doing, right? At 18, 19, 20, or whatever age that you started, 50 even. But investing in like a stock, like if you had to get into D-Wave right now, which I can show you, check this out. So let's go into D-Wave right now. Give me a second. So if you go to D-Wave right now, okay, this is Google Finance that I like to use. And where are we? Give me a sec. Right, we just type in here D-Wave. Why isn't D-Wave? You put in enter, and now obviously this is Google Finance is free, bro. So relax. Why isn't it going D-Wave? Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the screen. Where is that? Okay, so I got it now. My bad, guys. So this is what it is. But what was the... Give me a sec. D-Wave Quantum. Yeah, so this is it. Right? So if you had to buy one stock of this right now, it's $18.57, correct? Now, if you look at year to date, these guys are down 28%, 0.99. If you look at 1 year, they're up 17%, right? 5 years, they're up 71%, okay? 6 months down 35%, 1 month 29, and so on, right? Now, why we're looking at these data is because if you are investing in an ETF, right, you're way safer because you're spread across all these Microsoft, Fujitsu, quantum computing, Amazon, right? If you're investing directly in this, then there's a high risk. So as a beginner, you want a piece of everything. You want a piece of, for example, if you like cake, you want a cake from, I don't know, Cheesecake Factory. You want it from Haagen-Dazs. You want it from whatever your bakery is that you like down your road, right? So, and you want a piece of everything, so you have a better, maybe you have a party and everybody comes over and they like something of something, right? Everybody's not going to just eat from one. So you see what I'm saying? You have more options, a variety to make money. So that's what people get into ETFs. If you like that example, put a like, subscribe, do your thing, So yeah, and if you don't, just like and subscribe, support this channel. But yeah, thanks, appreciate you guys tuning in. But yeah, that's what an ETF is, right? So that's another. So we have non-US, we have the quantum computer, which is down 12%, and it's like this, bro. Like if you think quantum computing Going back to this screen, if you think quantum computing is going to go out like with, go all out, right? So if you look like, can you, like right here in Google Finance, you literally can put in this reason, what do you think about this ETF? Okay, first we can ask it, what do you think about this ETF? What was it called? WQTM, right? So while it's doing that, let's pop it up here. Wisdom tree. So it's obviously giving you the data and stuff, right? And it's good to go through and do your DD, which is your due diligence. It's good to research and all these stuff because it's your money that you're investing. I just want to look right now, like if I am DCing, which is dollar cost average in this ETF, how would I look? 6 to 24 months out. So like it's mad easy. It's just like if you want to talk to the AI, this is the way to do it with this ETF or with any stock. So it's telling you a dollar cost averaging DCA strategy for the wisdom tree commuting blah 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 over a 6 to 24 month horizon involves navigating a high growth but volatile frontier tech sector. Given that quantum computing is currently transitioning from research labs to commercial applications, here is how the time frame might look. So 6 to 24 month outlook, 6 month horizon, short term volatility. Sorry, man. Let me drink some water. Butchering these words today. In this 6 months, the ETF. Anyway, let's jump. Bro, if you want to read all this, otherwise we'll stay here on days. So the role of DCA and WQTM. Using DCA for a thematic ETF like WQTM allows you to low average cost. That's what we're doing. Manage sector risk, etc., etc. Right? So we just want to read the summary, guys. Come on, AI. Concentration. The fund is heavily weighted toward a few leaders. If a top holding like Quantium or D-Wave faces a road map delay, the ETF will feel it immediately. Great. So by that, what we understand is basically we don't want to put all our money into this ETF. We want to slowly DCA. Whether it's $5, $10, you got to understand what you want to put into this to think that quantum computer is going to be the future, right? So if you look here as well, right, and you can keep on prompting the obviously Gemini or whatever you use to get the way you want to look at things. But if you go back to this ETF, right, it's so new that there's not much in it right now to look at. Like for example, if I click here, let me show you something else. So what will we be looking at? VX. Give me a sec, guys. So we were looking at VXUS, right? Which is the ETF. Now, 1 second. Give me a sec. Where's all the other details? Usually they come up here. That's crazy, guys. There is something's wrong with Google Finance. Usually, Google Finance is updating, bro. Usually you get like an overview of stuff over here. Like if you see it in my past stream, you get all these other stuff. I think they're doing something behind it, which I'm looking at it today. 1 second. I don't expand this. Because if you look here in the classic, so I used to use the classic. Google Finance is updating soon. Okay. But there used to be more data which used to come up, which is kind of weird. It's not coming up. What's home? Home is home. See? This is what I'm talking about. Like if you go to certain things. So I think those are still very new. Or they're not on the data, because if you look into the next ETF that I'm going to show you, which is, where are we? Give me a sec. Okay, so if you look at, so we discussed VXUS, we discussed WQTM, and guys, this is my portfolio, right? So like, you can gauge what you want to gauge and have a look. So the next ETF, we're going to talk about DRAM, right? Now DRAM, if you look here, we're up 17%. Obviously, it's falling with all the noise about that. But I'm buying memory stocks, right? You do your own DD, but yeah, I'm buying. So let's go back to this and just put ticker symbol DRAM in. That's what we are. But look at this, bro. 5 years ago, it's 105% up, right? Now, we didn't obviously get into it 5 years ago, or 1 year, or whenever. So it's obviously this inception date. Even this is kind of not giving me that data. But you get all the news and everything about DRAM, like memory stocks. So if you look at this, opens obviously the new memory stock. Okay, memory stocks and ETF DRAM and bear market, time to buy the dip, the AI driven memory. So you can go through about all this news. There's a memory shortage going on around the world, if you know. That's why if you go on Apple's site, you can see a lot of their stuff is like sold out, or they're increasing their prices, right? So I'm buying DRAM. If you go back to this, right, and you look here. So if you look in this, although we are only 18%, we made $99. This recently was like 40 or 50% up. And I'm keep on adding to it because look at their top 10 holdings. You have all these companies. My average cost is $48, right? Now I'm going to buy even now that is higher only because, and I'm just putting $10, right? But that's how simple you can start investing. That's how easy it is. I believe that memory stocks, right? Like in my private portfolio, I have MU. I got MU just to show you what MU is. I got MU at $408, right? Currently, MU is at $929, right? So if you had to buy this, like just look at this. Year to date, 215% up, 214 now, right? 1 year, 672. Now, we got MU at 403. So if you can look, that's the low, that's the high. This was in, so we got somewhere around here. So in Jan earlier on this year, we added this to our private portfolio, and we are up crazy amount. Obviously, you can tell because it's currently 930. And if you go to 1 month ago, look at the high price. It hit like 1,000. It actually hit way more than that. Like see 1237 up here, top left, after below open. So right now it's having a cooling period. It also Robinhood gives you all this data. Micron falls 5% from Friday amid SK Hynix sell-off and market risk, etc., etc. You can keep on reading this, right? But memory stocks ain't going anywhere. So I'm in this. Look at this. The CEO, the employees are 53,000 people. So I love memory stocks. That's why in the baby portfolio, which is this one on Robinhood, we are buying this ETF because the private portfolio, of course, I'm not here to brag or anything. So it's cooking and it keeps on cooking. But I'm showing you guys like how easy it's to literally start building a portfolio today. It's mad easy, bro. Like the money's there. You have a smartphone. Go out and do it. Don't sleep. Sleep when you're dead, bro. Right? Again, these are just my opinions. So that's another ETF, DRAM, which was still up 17%, right? And some change. Another one is this. This is another ETF, Global Copper Miners ETF. And like, bro, why are you buying all this? Like, the reason why I'm buying all this as a beginner, because if you read about what this ETF does, right, it's crazy. Let me show you. What is that about? Tracks the market cap weighted index of global copper mining companies listed. Okay, so these are the top 10 holdings, right? So let's put this in Google Finance and see what comes up. So it's COPX. Okay, again, for some odd reason, like it's not picking up these ETFs. Maybe it's too new. Let's see, give me an over CPX. How fast was that, bro? So bullish, structural deficit and pricing targets are projected. Hold on, guys. Yeah, you can see me. Structural deficit and pricing targets are projected global refined copper deficit of approximately, bro, I'm not going through all this data, etc., etc. It's too long, bro. Okay, the reason why would I look? You can just ask, why would I invest in this if I am a beginner, bro. It's that simple. And forget my spelling, bro. I'm just typing fast because we don't have the whole day. The market's closing. It's right now 3:40 p.m. The market's closing at 4 p.m. where I said. So why beginners consider it? Simple diversification. Instead of researching dozens of individual mining companies, one trade gives you exposure to a basket of about 40 global copper producers. This reduces the risk of one company's management failure hurting your entire investment. Exactly. So, you can obviously the reason I'm doing this because I know in my portfolio, private portfolio, we're cooking with certain copper companies. So this is why we're using the safe way, an ETF in the beginner's portfolio, which is this, right? So that's the third. So we discussed the non-US one, which was VXUS. We discussed WQTM, the quantum ETF, the memory ETF, DRAM. And very soon, bro, if you look at my last stream, you're up like 50% or something, 40-50%. This is in the long run. So on long run investing, right? So DRM, great memory. Then we spoke about COPX. And right now, COPX is down only 5%. Like if it was like WQTM, which was down this much, like double-digit percent, we would just add small TCA. This is a baby account, newbie. So we're adding, right? And why I keep on saying those words, baby, newbie, because a person who's 18, 19, 20 generally doesn't have infinite amounts of cash to invest in the market. This is why we put in small amounts and we slowly build it. It's called compounding, right? So that's what I want to tell you guys, compounding. Next, and what is compounding? Every time you buy it at these price points when they're in red, even if you're buying small, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100, 200, 1000, whatever, it adds up, right? Whatever your compound is, it keeps on getting at this because it's going to go up, that I believe, right? So you got to do your own DD and see. So the next one, we're talking about SPMO. What is SPMO? Now, again, all the data is here. SPMO tracks an index of 100 S&P 500 components. Basically, it's tracking the top 500 companies in the country with the strongest volatility, adjusted momentum, the listed name for, okay. Again, you can see what sectors are here: technology, industrials, healthcare, communication services, financial services, consumer defensive, basic materials, energy, utilities, consumer cyclical, real estate. You want top 10 holdings: Micron, Nvidia, Broadcom, like the greatest. So we're not going to get into all of them. But if you go back to the Google Finance, I'll be very upset if this doesn't come, or I'll be very like, what the hell's happening with Google Finance? Again, it's not coming up. There's some odd reason, bro. What the hell's happening? Give me a sec. Let me just click on, maybe something they're doing at the, because obviously this is a beta or beta, however you want to pronounce it. But usually it comes for some odd reason. Let me just try refreshing. And I'm obviously signed in. What's this? No, send feedback. Relax. Okay, guys, relax. And you can, it came up earlier, so some odd reason it's not coming up today, but it's great when it all comes up. Obviously they're doing some work on the back end. But why we are buying this SPMO is only because of what I said. It's a great ETF. And I'll tell you something, look, what did we just, so let me go back into this and show you what I mean, right? Now, this ETF, before I forget, we've made, where is it? We made 16%, right? So we have about 3.9, about $600 in it. That's tracking the top 100 companies. Now you compare SPMO to another ETF, which is SCHD and VO. 12%, 18%, 16%. Now we can ask Google Finance, can you compare these ETFs as a beginner? I want growth, because you have time when you're young, right? And value, and if you're old, whatever old looks to you in terms of age or coming late to the investment game, stability as well. and stability as well. Okay, so it's VOO, SPMO, and what's the other one? SCHD. So let's see what it says. Okay, so it gives you all these details, right? What is your primary goal? If you want stability, if you want aggressive growth, if you want value income. And if you look on top, if you want stability, S&P 500. If you want aggressive growth, it's the SPMO, right? Right here, ticker symbol. If you want value and income, what is value and income? Income, it pays out dividend, is SCHD, right? Now, we can get into this. Expense ratio is basically so these are ETFs. You paid them like annually a margin, a percentage. So basically, because there are companies like NYSE in the Nasdaq and all, just think of this: the companies are managing this ETF, right? They're buying all these companies, putting in their basket. You're buying it from them, this basket, but because they manage all the companies in it, you're going to pay them 0.03% of whatever you buy in a year, and 0.13 and 0.06, right? It's cool in a way, but it doesn't really matter because they're really low numbers, in my opinion. So you won't even see the deductions or whatever, the charges. But it's all automatically done. You don't have to do anything extra. It's done. You don't have to. You can just sleep and buy the stock, right? In my opinion. Now, so if you see here in this chart, the research that, so the blue is VOO, the dark blue is SCHD, and then you have the SPMO as the orange, right? So you can see when SPMO outperforms the other two, and that's what I want to show you, right? So if you look here, and this is doing a 1 year, so obviously the data changes, like you can see. So if you look at year to date, because we started this account year to date, VOO year to date is giving us a 9.72%. So if you go back to the portfolio, right, it's giving us 8.3. This is, you see what I'm saying? So it's quite similar, the details here, right? SPMO is 25%. I think we were about 18% of SPMO in the, 1 second, where did I go? Yeah, 16. So you see, pretty much on par. Obviously, there's a difference, but this is the indication that you can see from Google Finance that if we got into this year to date, we would be about 9%. Let's just call it 10% up, 25% up, and 19% up, right? This one pays you dividend. What is dividend? Basically, because you're buying this ETF, it also pays you. So quarterly, it gives you some money back, and you can basically put it in the app to reinvest this money for you. So it's literally giving you income. So the more you build, yes, you're investing, but you also, your money, they pay you for investing into this ETF, right? But if you like to see these numbers, that's why I say always look at percentage, right? This is a great growth one, right? But when it tanks, it can it's really volatile, right? Now, SPMO, okay, it's basically the top 100. So if someone's not performing, it kind of takes out from the S&P 500, the top 100, it takes out these companies, right? So if you look at, you want to know more about SPMO, is it all 500 or 100? And they'll tell you like. So while it draws candidates from the full S&P 500, it does not hold all. That's what I'm trying to say, right? It only identifies the top 100 dogs, right? Or winners, right? And then obviously, if you want to see those companies, you can also ask it here. List the 100 companies for me, please. And it's going to list all the 100 companies, right? So that's how you want to look at all the AI tools on hand. Make everything work for you instead of you working for it, and make your money work for you, not you work for money. This is the smart way of investing, right? The slow way, it's quite like, but seeing these gains is amazing, bro. Like, I don't know why people won't get into investing. Now, if you look at my private portfolio, it's cooking, but we started this in 2015, right? So, like AMD, for example, we are up like almost 300 and something percent, right? And I'm not here to brag, or I'm here to share, like, guys, like, if you're tuning in, thank you very much and you're betting on yourself, right? I want to like take an easy and slow process talking to you guys, because if when this account hits, I don't know, 40, 50, 100K, the conversation is going to become really different. The tones, the vocabulary, everything's going to be elevated, right? Because now we're taking the baby account, the baby scrolling, running, now we're like in Olympics. You see what I'm saying? So right now, because it's such a early stage of the portfolio, we are literally, I'm trying to speak to the audience, or I'm basically speaking to the 18, 19, 20-year-old Jeremy, or anyone who's trying to join in their investment journey as a beginner, right? This is why I'm like trying to move slowly with you guys, be calm and collected, to tell you guys, don't get overwhelmed. You can just buy ETS for now and, get into place. If you want great companies, in my opinion, like Amazon, Google, these are great companies if you want to DCA in for some time, and it's a long term, not for some time, for long term, right? Like this account has Microsoft. We have about $1,000 in it. We're only down 13, but if you go back to the Google Finance and we put MSFT, that's the ticker symbol. So, see, now this has come up. So obviously, because I'm running a beta version of this, I don't know if there's something wrong, but what you want to look at, if you're buying individual stocks and they're tech, always look at this 23. Should I have done that? My bad. Let me go back. Yeah. Are we looking good? Yeah. So if you look at the PE ratio, my earlier videos, I tell you what a PE ratio is. Anything 10 to 20 is really good to buy. Anything higher than 30, 10 to 20 great. Anything from 20 to 30 is decent, in my opinion. 30 and higher, it's now you're paying more for that company, like 30 times, blah blah. You can also ask Gemini here if you want to, right? What does this mean? But I did a whole video explaining this. So if you want to click on it, it's in my videos on lives. Just go to lives. Also, I have this segment on my channel where it's called courses. It's basically talking to beginners about the stock market. So if you want to click on that, it's really authentic, really like I'm literally showing you how I'm buying and selling in that same portfolio, right? In this one. So I'm a long-term believer of Microsoft. Everyone uses Microsoft. I use Outlook. I send emails and everything. Until things change, I don't know, but I can't tell you what to buy, hold, or sell. But like, do your due diligence, your own DD, and find out. I like to buy and accumulate in this portfolio as well, right? In the Robinhood baby account, bro, if you want to call it, right? So we're just accumulating at this point in time in Microsoft. Look at Meta, bro. Like, we have only 1,626. We're up 10%. We made $155 in the baby account. We only have 2.4. It's funny. I'm laughing because obviously I know how much is in the private portfolio. But for a person who's joining, I'm not trying to like be snarky or whatever, or smart ass. Keep on building your shares at great price points. When you buy, right now, you shouldn't buy when something's peaking, right? In my opinion, like we're peaking. Look, 1 week out, 1 month out, 3 months, right? But if you want to get some skin in the game, you can just add small amounts. Every time it dips, buy a little more. The PE ratio is looking great still on this company, in my opinion, right? I don't think Meta is going anywhere anytime soon. We're all using WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and whatever else Meta does, Oculus and stuff, So guys, I think I want to leave you there. The market's about to close. I need to go and check on certain things in the private portfolio just to see what's happening. But thanks for tuning in. This one today was more of a really early stage from like my thumbnail says, beginners. If you want to start investing, I would advise you guys. In my opinion, this is what I'm advising JW when he was 18, 19, or if he was 18, 19 today, this is what I'm advising him, right? Tomorrow is going to be more in depth what we're going to do with the 400 and something dollars. But right now we're chilling with all the news going around the world, with the politics and the issues, which I'm not this channel's about. We're all about like peace, and wealth, right? So, guys, I want to leave you with that. On that note, one love, peace. I'm out of here. Tune in tomorrow.